Drummer here, Brian Andrew Tunstall, and it says you're a celebrity hairstylist and business developer, so welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
First-time guest, yes. And I'm just meeting you for the first time. I understand that you're my director, Ron Tunstall's nephew.
Yes, sir.
So that's how I got to know, connect with you for this interview. And I'm just going to start from the top and ask you a little bit about yourself. I know you're originally from here.
Yes, I'm a native.
But you've been gone for a while.
That's correct. I'm a native of Providence, Rhode Island, born and raised here. Come from a very large family. The Tunstalls on my father's side, Smith, Venters, and Prices on my mother's side. Okay. Very large people.
That's very large.
Grew up, went to Central Vocational High School. Started off as a master barber, then went to Arthur Angelo's Advanced Hair Training Academy. Became a cosmetologist. Was scouted by a product company called Cornell Enterprises out of Woonsocket, Rhode Island, back in the Jerry Curl days. Became a platform artist, traveled over the country, and ended up in Los Angeles, California.
All right.
I was always a young child to believe from a child that all things are possible to those who believe. Left here, went to California, became working in the entertainment industry, and have done that for the past 28 years.
28 years, but that's certainly a long time. So Los Angeles, I was out there briefly, quite a while ago. I lived in Compton. I was teaching at Centennial High School, doing student teaching. I was an undergrad at the time. So I had a little bit of a flavor for the Los Angeles and Long Beach and that whole Southern California area. So, I can't imagine how it must have felt to be out there after coming from the East Coast. All right, you mentioned the entertainment industry. Let's talk about the entertainment industry.
I worked on many shows, from Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. I did Living Single, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, On Our Own, Getting By. I've done a lot of films, such as Matrix Reloaded. I've done the television show ER. I've done the movie Dreamgirls. Was nominated for 5 Emmys and an Oscar for The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. And did all I could do in Los Angeles for the time I spent there. After the accolades that I've acquired, decided to move home. Mom started getting a little bit up there in age. Always believed in taking care of my parents, and so I came back to originally do that. Also, during the electoral stages of election, I was watching different things that was going on in Rhode Island, realizing there was less than 1% of black businesses in Rhode Island. So decided to come home and try to see what I can do and motivate the youth. And I'm back here to open a school and do a few things and try to make something happen here.
Yeah, it's scary, the low number of black businesses in particular, but just people of color in terms of businesses in general in Rhode Island. It's shockingly low, and it doesn't have to be that way. And hopefully, there'll be some turnaround over the next few years. But you mentioned that you were nominated 5 times for an Emmy, once for an Oscar. And you're into the entertainment industry. But what category are we talking about?
I'm a hairstylist.
Hairstylist
and makeup artist.
I want to make sure the audience knows that you're a hairstylist.
Yes, sir. Hairstylist and a makeup artist.
So were you were doing hairstyling in some of these and makeup in others, or are you doing both?
Combination of both.
Combination of both.
I'm in the union, which is IATSE Local 706, which is the biggest television film union in the country, and pretty much did one or the other, but most of the time was a hairstylist, department head supervisor, creating hairstyles, developing hairstyles and things of that nature, doing hair pieces, wigs, prosthetic hair, things of that, aging people, time period, stuff like that.
So how about some of the people that you work with?
I've worked with everybody from, you name it, the biggest entertainers, from Diane Carroll, Vanessa Williams, Tyra Banks, the late great Sammy Davis Jr. I've worked with Peter Falk, Louise Fletcher. I can go on and on and on.
You missed Viola Davis.
Oh, absolutely.
We just invited
one of our own.
On November 2nd, who's one of our own as well.
Yes, I did her on the City of Angels television show.
Oh, good. All right, so you mentioned you were part of the union. I guess if you're not part of the union out there, it's a problem.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a catch-22 situation.
Yeah.
The union is always the best way to go.
Okay. Well, I'm sure our union viewers would appreciate you saying that. Now, you have a salon, or you had a salon in Los Angeles?
Yes, I had a salon in Los Angeles, Brian Andrew Unlimited, which was on the borderline of Los Angeles and Beverly Hills.
All right.
Then I transcended to Arizona and had a salon in Arizona, Brian Andrew Unlimited.
Oh, so you went from Los Angeles to Arizona?
Yes.
Oh, so you're not coming directly from LA, you're coming from Arizona?
Yes.
What part of Arizona?
Casa Grande, in between Phoenix and Tucson.
All right, so you had the best of both worlds, Phoenix and Tucson.
Yeah, well, I mean,
either way.
I don't know if it was the best of both worlds, but it definitely was a strange place to be.
Actually, I don't even know how far the distances between Phoenix and Tucson are probably not exactly like Central Falls and Providence, probably a little bit further.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess
Exactly.
you're looking at it that way. It might have been a little bit of a stretch to go to either place. All right, so now you're back here. How long have you been back here?
Actually, I've been back here just a fresh 10 days.
10 days.
Yes,
Well, welcome
sir.
home.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome home. 10
Thank you
days.
very much.
So now you're hitting the ground running.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
you mentioned your family. Your mom is here. You know, and I'm glad that she's here to watch this. And so you still have a lot of family here because I heard those names.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And some of the biggest families in Rhode Island in those names. And I've been here 20 years, so I'm not quite a Rhode Islander, but I've been around enough to know who got large families and who don't. And I've met most of them. So you have that contact, but I mean, you know, you're in a specialized business that none of them are in.
Exactly.
So, and there are not that many black businesses here, but there is support because I know that there are certain agencies and as well as government that are available to help.
Absolutely.
So, you know, and after the show, I can give you some contacts in terms of people I think could help.
That'd be great.
I don't want to say
That'd
they
be great.
can definitely help because nobody wants to say that there's a guarantee in anything anymore because of the way the economy is.
Well, I
and the way
still
things
continue
are.
to say all things are possible to those who believe.
There's an opportunity.
Absolutely.
You know, I'll give you the access to open the door, and then we'll see what happens. All right. So, you know, I know that you're big on youth and education. Now, how so?
I've been a licensed instructor since 1987, teaching cosmetology.
Okay.
And I also do freelance education, doing anything from motivational speaking to our youth, trying to keep them up and inspired, trying to keep them out of gang activity and things like that, and just trying to keep them on an entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay. So you mentioned teaching and mentoring
Yes.
or whatever. But you're not thinking about doing that here.
Yes.
Are you thinking about doing that here?
Yes, sir. One of the things I'm trying to develop is a technical school, starting off, of course, with cosmetology, because that is my background.
Yeah.
But then venturing on to other things, such as fashion, teaching other entrepreneurial skills, whatever's going to motivate the youth to try to get them back in a workforce.
Yeah, because they just built a high school, a career tech or whatever, you know, with Central High School.
Yes, they brought it back. That's what I originally attended. That's when I went to barber school.
Right, and then that new school, they have a cosmetology department because I met some of the people that are there. So I guess they've carried that on.
Right.
But you want to expand on that?
Well, the difference between what they have is, see, when I grew up, there was no such thing as a black school.
Okay.
So I am very diverse in my talents and skills as far as the accolades that I've acquired, and I want to bring them back to our community. I want to teach more than just one side of it.
Okay.
I do whatever sits in my chair, from black to white, Asian, Hispanic, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just want to have a diversified skill set to teach them more than just one way of doing hair.
Plus, there's that makeup aspect as well.
Absolutely.
So we don't want to forget that. Okay, so you're here in Providence, but we also have, you know, Woonsocket, and we have all kinds of communities that probably have kids that are highly motivated and just looking for some direction. All right, so how do you plan to do this? What do you think you're going to be doing first? I mean, you've only been here 10 days, so it might be a little bit unfair to ask you that, but I know you thought about this for a while because you don't make a move like Arizona back to Rhode Island without really thinking about things.
Well, of course, with the help of our politicians and the different people that might be interested in entrepreneurial business,
Yeah.
Looking for investors, looking for people that understand business and business planning, that write business plans. So I'm trying to reach out to whoever is willing to listen and want to get on the same page as I am and want to get back to something to the community. That's what I'm looking for.
Because our youth, they really need as many options as possible, and not everybody, wants to go to college necessarily to be in a liberal arts program or go to New England Tech to be in an automotive program. I mean, there are some that do, but we need as many options as possible for everybody because we have to recognize the diversity even within the diverse communities in terms of thought and in terms of aspiration. So this is good because I'm always constantly trying to push the envelope in terms of making sure that our youth get as many opportunities as any other youth get, or as all the other youths usually get, that our kids don't get. So it really plays into what I'm big on. So that's why I'm glad you're here talking about this. But, I'm really really impressed with the fact that at the top of your profession, because they don't give Emmys away and Oscars away, and they don't nominate people to get the chance to get those easily. So I know that you had to be highly regarded to even get the nomination, and the fact that you stayed out there, or you were in the business 28 years, speaks to your longevity and your interests and passion in terms of the business. So. Are there any highlights in your career in terms of when you, let's say, were doing some of the stuff that earned those nominations that you want to speak about?
Just the excitement of being able to work with some of the original first people of television.
Yeah.
Just for having a dream, being able to live my dream. I grew up watching people on TV, and remember speaking to my grandmother, my mother, about different things, and saying one day I would work with them people. Anyone from the Jacksons to Liza Minnelli, and on and on and on. Sure,
we mentioned Sammy Davis Jr. and Diane Carroll. So those are two originals.
That had to be the biggest thing, and then also the wonderful Avery Brooks.
Oh yeah.
From Star Trek: Deep Space Nine. Very educated man. Even though I worked with him as a hairstylist, he was also a personal mentor of mine, just teaching me how to grow and how to grow as a man and to put back into the community. And so just to work with people like that was just such a highlight of my life, and I'm honored, to be able to live a dream.
Well, I'm very familiar with Avery Brooks. And you mentioned the Jacksons. Did you get a chance to work with the Jacksons too? Jackson 5?
Actually, I did. I was fortunate enough that when Michael Jackson had passed away, I actually did his memorial service.
Really?
I did all the hair and the makeup and put the team together, and what a great honor.
Yeah, that was an honor because, of course, Michael Jackson being one of the greats of all time, and certainly, I remember seeing the service on TV with Reverend Al doing the eulogy, and gone too soon, too soon. But are you going to miss some of that excitement? I mean, Rhode Island is not exactly even Arizona, you know what I mean?
Well, yes and no. One thing that's great about being from Rhode Island, it is one of the original 13 colonies of the United States. There's a lot of pride here, a lot of historics here, and just to come back and give something back and try to leave some kind of legacy, not only a family legacy, but something the youth can grab a hold of.
Sure.
To be able to say that I was born and raised here, left, did big things in Los Angeles, now coming back to community, what better way to end life?
Yeah. But not to end life, because you got a lot of life to go.
Absolutely. But I mean, I will try to work as hard as I can as long as I keep my eyes open.
Sure, you might be here doing this stuff longer than you was in Los Angeles. So
which is fine. Which
is always fine. Yeah, and that'd be a blessing.
Absolutely.
So is there anything I can do to help? Because I know people at the SBA, I know people at Johnson Wales Small Business Development Center. There's also a couple of other organizations that I know that are focused in on trying to help entrepreneurs or people that want to refine their business plan, and most of the time it's just a phone call away and that's it. It's not a whole big process. So certainly they've been on the show talking about what they do because they want to get more people involved. So we have a natural connection there. I think we got about a minute to go. According to Al, is there anything that we left out that maybe we should?
No, I just want to say that for whoever's watching the Jim Vincent Show, entrepreneurs, state officials, politicians, whoever might want to jump on board with what I'm doing, you can reach me at Brian Andrew Unlimited, baunlimited.net is my website, or baunlimited@msn.com. Facebook me. I'm on all the latest things. Twitter. Look me up. You can always Google me. Brian Andrew Tunstall on Google. International Movie Database. And if you're interested in getting involved with what I'm trying to do, give me a call.
Well, that sounds great, Brian. I'm sure that people are going to give you a call and Google and text and do all that kind of stuff because, like I said, our kids are, just too precious not to give them an opportunity to do this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Wrap up saying, Brian,
thank you so very much for the opportunity.
That's Brian Andrew Tunstall. He's a celebrity hairstylist. He's come back home trying to do something for the youth. And at the top, we have Jules Kalaway of the African Alliance. Tyner, thank you for all your support. Uncle Hassan, the family loves you. I'm your host, Jim Vincent. Thank you for watching. See you next week. Bye for now.
Wooden glass table with